You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, today I wanted to talk a little bit about snow plowing, snow removal, maybe give you guys some helpful tips, and even answer a couple questions that we've had come in over the last couple of weeks as these snow flurries and the snowflakes are starting to fly across the Midwest, the New England states, definitely out west, and of course, up north into Canada. Just having some fun there. But one thing I wanted to point out is I want to say a big thank you to all of you guys that have been supporting so much on launchpreneuracademy.com. That's our online training website. I know we plug it quite a bit on the podcast because you guys are the ones that are hungriest for the content and the information and the resources. We do talk about it a little bit on YouTube, but not as much, just because to me, that platform, yes, it's educational, but it's a little bit more entertainment, if you will, maybe like 70-30. I feel like the podcast is more 80% meat, 20% entertainment, if you will. That being said, many of you guys have been picking up these snow contracts, which I really just wanted to say a quick thank you for. That is a small business, our side hustle, if you will, for my wife and I. It's one of our small companies, if you will, that just pours it right back into our family's income to allow me to keep my wife to be able to be a stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home mom. Just give us a little bit of a breathing room as we try to just make extra income, of course, nights and weekends, just like you guys probably, with side hustles that you guys do. I know so many of you guys make hats and shirts. You guys have Instagrams with selling t-shirts, wood carving with laser engravers, all this stuff. So it's just a fun side hustle outside of the main, 9 to 5. That being said, if you guys have not, really quick plug here, if you guys have not been to launchpreneuracademy.com, you're trying to learn more about snow, or you need snow and ice management logs, or you need to get some good contracts, of course, I would highly encourage you guys to check them out. They're some of the most robust resources that I know available in the industry for pennies on the dollar. Okay, $99 you get the contract for commercial. I think there's 2 templates in there, by the way, a per push and then a seasonal prepay. There is residential contracts for $99. I think there's 3 templates in there, maybe a per push, a seasonal prepay, and then a load up and then recharge kind of a system. If you want to bundle them together, we have the snow contracts bundle. I think it's $179, saving you guys a couple bucks. An underutilized resource for darn sure is the snow and ice management log. It's $49. And that is something that we keep in our metal clipboards. We are required to, every time we visit a site, fill out the snow and ice management logs. We have paper trails, we have records, site conditions, temperature conditions, site checks. Everything is spelled out on this resource. It's very simple, but it's very, very important, especially when you're trying to fight a slip and fall accident situation, especially with your insurance provider and or when you get into a potential lawsuit. You need to have great documentation. Will save your tail. Learn that from my friend Mike and then also my friend Troy. If you guys want to go all in, right, there is an all-in snow bundle for $279. That includes a $99 how to plow snow training program where we talk about equipment, what plows to buy, what trucks to look at, where do we stack snow, how do we stack snow, how do we price, and so much more. By the way, all of our base pricing for a 1-acre site and 100 linear feet of sidewalk, which is a standard site. Imagine a Culver's, a gas station, a McDonald's, a small strip mall, right? And you can scale from there. A machine shop, that has a 1-acre parking lot, a big L, if you will, around the building. Amazing resources, low-hanging fruit. I know so many people that are securing $10,000, $5,000, $2,000, $20,000 jobs all day long during the snow removal season for 4 months and taking these contracts. And dude, it's $99 and you can secure one account for $15,000 for the next 5-10 years if you just treat them right. It's insane. Okay. Lifetime updates as well, which we've made a bunch of updates on the contracts this year. So anyway, launchpreneuracademy.com/store if you want to get those resources. Just a quick plug on that. But what I did want to do is just answer a bunch of FAQs that were coming in here. Let me give you a little prelude here. We're going to be talking about site checks, snow logs, subcontractor agreements, W-9s, route sheets, where do we pile snow, ice melt, If we get a big snowstorm, like 6 or 8 inches plus, how do we tackle that? Is it one charge or 2 charges, right? All these kind of quick FAQs that I've been kind of just writing down as I've seen them come in, from feedback from the training courses, feedback from the other snow podcast episodes that we've done. When we're out, plowing snow, and we put some great content on Instagram or some reels or some TikToks, right? I get a couple FAQs there from just public comments or DMs. So I'm always trying to pay it forward. I'm always trying to pour it out there. So what I want to do is just spend a few minutes here kind of answering some of those questions that I got for you guys today. And I'm hoping that we just do a kind of a short and sweet episode. In the history of Fullerton Unfiltered, I don't think there's ever been a short and sweet episode. I think our shortest episode's probably 21 minutes, you know what I'm saying? But we'll try to do this in a quick, timely fashion. So let's do this really quick, though. Before we break down these couple FAQs, I do want to hear from today's show sponsors and announcements. We are trying to keep the lights on here. And this podcast mixer, it definitely works better when there's power, when we pay the electric bill. And so that's why we got to run ads. Everything's for profit, because if it wasn't, I'm not sure that any of the lights would stay on around here. And we definitely don't want Mr. Producer hanging out in a van down by the river. So that being said, let's kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer. We're going to hear from today's show sponsors and announcements, and we're going to come right on back.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to shovel. I don't even have a snowblower. Nobody to plow me. Oh, my God, and the neighbors suck. They don't help. Oh, my God, what am I going to do?
Do you want to keep the cash flowing this winter? Head over to L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com and check out all of Brian Fullerton's new courses and powerful resources to get you cashing in on that white gold through plowing snow. The Snow Plowing Training Course is easy to understand, and you'll learn what it takes to do the job effectively and how to bid, price, and estimate snow plowing for both residential and commercial properties. L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com has 3 new resources to take the hassle and guesswork out of securing your snow removal jobs, plus there's eye-catching marketing materials that can help you secure new clients quickly. Ready to crush the snow game this year? Visit L'EntreprenneurAcademy.com or use the link in the podcast description.
All right, guys, well, let's jump right back into it here, and we'll kind of get into it, talking a little bit more about the 6 or 7 different FAQs. And by the way, if you guys ever have other questions, shoot me a message, shoot me an email, leave me a comment, say something somewhere, and I would love to talk about this topic or other topics relating to snow or otherwise that you guys might have for topics on the show. All right, so let's do this really quick. Let me find my spot here on my notepad. So number 1 was site checks. This was a question that I've gotten a couple times. And it's a couple different ways, by the way. Site checks were pre-season site checks, post-season site checks, and then also site checks while we plow snow or after a snow event. So let's talk about it really quick. Pre-site inspections. And by the way, maybe you guys are brand new to snow. This will be really helpful content. Maybe you guys have been doing snow for a little while, or maybe you're a snow professional and you've been doing this for a decade or something like that, right? All good, all awesome, but don't just tune me off or say, yeah, I know this stuff. Again, it's always not if you've heard it or know it, but are you doing it? So we're going to cross the T's, we're going to dot the I's. So if you've been here, done that, that's cool. Maybe these are just some helpful reminders. Don't have too much of an ego to just say, I know this. Listen, because I'm in the same way. I've heard this before. But here, let's talk about it from a practical standpoint. Have we done this? So first thing we'll talk about was site checks. So what we do is every season, we go around all of the parking lots, all of our clients, and we record video about how the sites look. And I know it sounds tedious, and I know there's 100 things going on, but 100%, you need to do site checks. By the way, you don't have to do them. You can send your guys to do them and film with their cell phones. Everybody's got a cell phone these days with video, a decent iPhone, a decent Samsung. You can send it all up into a Dropbox folder, or if they all have iPhones, create a shared album, and you can upload all those site check videos into a shared album that your guys can go out and about. And realistically, it shouldn't take more than a half a day to go do, a dozen sites. Okay. They hop out, they're recording a couple spots, just doing some panning shots. And what we're really looking for is any abnormalities, any smashed curbs, any smashed manhole covers, anything that, any downed wires, any downed power lines or conduit, any street lights or lamp posts, any curbs that look like they're smashed, the red kind of bubbled up little ice patch preventer, little, you know what I'm talking about, the stupid little pink and red things that are at the ramp of a sidewalk that help with ice management. I've seen those completely ripped off from using a snow raider, or guys are shoveling them, or a plow truck hits them because they're scooping up snow up over the sidewalk or something like that. I've seen them completely ripped off. In the spring, as we go to mow a lawn, we picked up a new client this year. He had them just completely scraped off the cement. I was like, bro, I did a pre-site check for lawn care, another topic for another time. And I was just like, hey, do you know that this is in here? He goes, I never haven't even seen that, because the sidewalk was away and around from the building. And I said, yeah, well, I'm just so you know, that wasn't us, obviously. And I'm not going to get charged $300 from a, I don't know, concrete guy or a line painting guy, the painters or whoever installed those, some general contractor, to go install another skid plate thing to help on the sidewalk. So really quickly, before you guys run out there and you start plowing snow, listen, if you haven't done it yet, there's still got time this season. Go run around and do a pre-site inspection. Record all the back loading docks, all the back bays, for all the, when the truck's back in, they got those big black cushions to help with the air, to make sure they have a seal, if you will, when a semi-truck backs up to a loading dock for a warehouse. Are those all ripped off? Are they all shredded? Are they looking like garbage? I know it sounds kind of weird, but you don't need to be responsible for anything like that. If like one's all damaged and ripped up and all the poles are on the ground, you don't need to be responsible for a, I don't know, $1,500, $4,000 probably repair bill for something stupid like that. Also, it's just really good too. Here's one thing that I would encourage you guys. Of course, if you can go visit the sites, that's good. That's cool. That's great. You should. Everybody in my route, if you will, has. I've taken little physical time with Mark and Rob. We spent 4 or 5 hours one afternoon. We could have been doing cleanups and making, $1,000. I agree. But this is just as equally important, because we'll make $150,000 gross doing snow. So take some time. Okay. I got to do a leaf cleanup. I can't make LAL. I get it. I can't go do my preset inspections. I got to go do leaves because I got to make $700. I get it. I'm telling you, if you run from emergency to emergency for the rest of your life, you will never get control of the ship. I'm telling you, you will just be a snowball. Things will start rolling over you, and you'll have no margin. You have to start doing stuff like this. It's more important than going and making an extra $700 gross on the schedule. I'm just telling you, it is. And I just don't know why people beat their head against the wall and push back on that kind of stuff. I could be doing a pruning job. Right. You go do your pre-site inspections, and that way when somebody's, management from the local tire shop that you're working out, and the facilities manager reaches out to you and says, hey, you smashed our curb, it's going to be $3,000. Because it's a short run or a short supply or whatever they call it with concrete. It's a small batch, fee, and so it's $3,000 to go fix a 6-foot smashed curb, and now you're on the hook for that because you didn't do your pre-site inspection. But clap back at me because you had $700 extra come in with leaf cleanups. Good luck paying your $500 deductible now for a $3,000 damage that you didn't do, but now you're on the hook for because it's he said, she said, because you didn't have a site inspection saying that you didn't smash that curb because you saw it and you video documented it and submitted it to the facility manager before the season started. Okay. And so go pay your $500 or $1,000 deductible because you didn't have the best credit. So you have to get higher rate insurance with a higher deductible. So your deductible is $1,000. You did $700 with leaves that day instead of doing your pre-site inspections, but you're actually now out $300 and a lot of back and forth and a big disdain and bad taste in your mouth for that client because you didn't do your pre-site inspections. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, this is real life stuff. That's the unfiltered, like, dude, stop being a nuthead, a nut job. Stop being so hard headed. Listen to somebody, for crying out loud. Just listen and go apply. Okay. So #EndRant, pre-site inspections, loading docks. Like I said, the front doors, any damaged glass, any glass that's already shattered or looked cracked or weak, rusted out areas. Maybe there's like a pole that's rusted out and from salt and ice melt, and you don't want to get blamed with that in the spring from something that's already completely rusted out, some metal, cap if you want a light fixture. Any damaged shrubs, by the way. You don't want to get on the hook for, oh, you guys salted and salt got in the bed and it killed all the shrubs. Okay. Well, if there wasn't any shrubs there to begin with, okay, don't throw that on me. Okay. So document any shrubs or plants, any of the islands, if you will. Just some quick helpful tips. There's sprinkler heads. Maybe there's some sprinkler heads on the corners of some of the entrances or some of the sidewalks or just different spots. So maybe there's an irrigation head that's got the little extension, 12 or 15 inch mister. And when you plow snow, you stack up in that, you might pop that off. Well, do a quick video. Is it already broken off from the previous guy last year from the new account you just picked up, right? That little 15-inch mist head with an irrigation guy to come out and fix it, it's going to be $85, unless you can do your own irrigation work. But maybe you got a buddy, he's got to run over there, do a little service call, and it's $85. It would have took you 10 seconds to just video this and send it to the property manager, the office manager, the facility manager, the general contractor that you're subbing out for, and just say, hey, this wasn't us. This was here. It's laying on the bed. Just so you know, this mist head. Not only that, if snow or salt or dirt or rock or dust has gotten into that irrigation line and it's messing up the rest of the system, dude, not my problem. You documented it, pass it on to the next guy. It's called CYA. All right, so preseason site checks, postseason site checks, do the same thing once you're done with the season. And then also, when you're done with a snowstorm, 2-inch, 4-inch, 8-inch, 12-inch, doesn't matter, cycle back through. You are responsible for the next day to go back through and do site checks and cleanups. That's a question I get a lot. Like, hey, if I go back out after a plow run and I got to go plow the entrance for 2 seconds from like the city plows, or of course in residential, the end of the driveway, when the plows go through, there's that last 2 feet of just ice and slush. Yes, you are responsible for that. Go back out. Is it another push? I don't know. It depends on your contract. For us with Unlimited, we do not go back out and charge for that because we have an unlimited quote unquote service for residential for a fixed price. If it's for per push, maybe you have something that says, hey, for $25, we'll come back out and tidy up the front 2 feet of the driveway after the city plows have gone through. It just depends. But long story short, yes, you are responsible to go out the next day. After you're done plowing snow for 6, 8, 10 hours, go home, get 6, 8, 10 hours of sleep, go out the next day. Usually by then it's jeans and a sweater weather because it's usually sunny the next day after a big snowstorm. Maybe it's still 10 degrees out, whatever. You're not most likely jumping out of the truck and tidying up a bunch of sidewalks and stuff like that. Usually it's just the end of the driveways and end of the front entrances of the businesses. Yes, go back through, tidy those up. It takes 2-3 hours. Do some site checks. See if you need to throw down a little bit of extra ice smell. Do you have any refreeze on the parking lot? If so, you might have to go salt. If you have a subcontractor for salt, if he already hasn't made those rounds that morning of, touch base with your salt people. Let them know, hey, can you tag up my sites one more time? Okay. So site inspections are very important. It's not just plow snow and go home. It's plow snow, go home, and then come back and check things out. Make sure things are good. You aren't managing snow. You are managing risk. Does the site look like it could have a slip and fall? Does the site look like it's prohibiting somebody from shopping there or getting their hair cut or getting in and out safely? That's the kind of stuff you have to start looking through the lens of, does this site look safe? Is it accessible? Not, did I just plow the snow and go home and charge $250 or whatever? Okay. All right, let's keep going. That was probably the lengthiest one here that I wanted to talk about. Snow logs. Again, underutilized, undervalued, underappreciated resource, hardcore on launchpreneuracademy.com. And I'm not just saying that so you guys go buy them. I not at all. I don't want people to get sued. I don't want people to be in trouble. I don't want people to not have proper documentation. And anybody listening in that's ever been into those situations, or you've had a small claims, or you've had situations with people not paying, right? We all know that the deciding factor 85-90% of the time is who has A, documentation, number one, but B, who has better documentation, C, who's got the best documentation. Because when it does go to he said, she said, you got to have the receipts, okay? Snow and ice management log. Get a little $40, $20 contractor clipboard case off of Amazon or at Staples. Print off 20 or 30 of these things. Have them all the time in there with a couple different pens. And when your guys are done visiting a site, they have to fill out the logs. How much snow was there? What was the site conditions? What time did you visit? What was the wind? What was the time? The temperature? Anything of note? Hey, there was a semi truck parked in the parking lot. Oddly enough, there was a overnight semi that was making a delivery parked in one of the stalls. I couldn't get around it. Right? Document. Okay. All right, let's keep going because I don't want to be too much on a dead horse on some of these topics. Your subcontractor agreement. And I see this all the time. People reach out to me. They want me to sub out some sites, which I super appreciate. A lot of you guys have some sites where I live, actually, like, go figure. It's kind of cool. And I always ask, like, hey, do you have a subcontractor agreement, or do you want to use mine? Do you have a W-9, or do you need mine if we're subbing each other out, or vice versa? The companies that I sub out for, you have to get your W-9 in. You have to sign a subcontractor agreement. Do you have this document in place? I love you guys, but I'm telling you, don't just have your buddy who's some hillbilly who's got a 2002 F250 and he's got a little 8-foot Myers plow and it's all rusted out, but it works and that's fine. Don't just pick him up to come plow snow with you, because the minute he hits a telephone pole or he backs into a building or he smashes one of those yellow pylons, one of those safety pylons, and he hits the gas meter at a local small business, or smashes a vehicle and tin can opens up a car that's parked overnight, that's on you. And you're like, no, that's all him. It's his fault. I'm telling you, if you're paying him cash or you're paying him under the radar, or, hey, dude, I'll pay you $40 an hour to come plow with me, or $80 an hour to come plow with me. He's some 18-year-old kid. He just wants to get some experience. What's the harm? The harm is driving a 8,000-pound vehicle on an ice rink. Okay, that's the issue. You treat it like a real company, a real business. Nobody would have any 18-year-old kid just, hey, man, if you got a pulse, jump in a truck and let's go. Make sure you have proper insurance. Make sure you have proper documentation. Make sure you have good subcontractor agreements. Protect yourself, okay? We've got a great subcontractor agreement, launchpreneuracademy.com. I think it's $200. And you can use it for snow. You can use it for lawn care. You can use it for anything. By the way, I have 2 or 3 subcontractor agreements that I'm in contract with at all times during the year. I have them with Mike Bedell. I have them with Troy Clogg. I have them with a couple of other buddies of mine that do my pruning work. It's not just flippantly, yeah, man, go tag up that site for me. Dude, spell this stuff out. If you value friendships, you will have a subcontractor agreement. If you don't value your friends, you will do handshake deals. And I am a big handshake deal guy, but I will tell you, you will lose friendships by not having things spelled out in writing. Okay. So if you really love your friends, go into contracts. Don't just do handshake spitball deals. Okay. I wrote down W-9s. That a W-9 is just simply a one-page form. It might be 2 pages actually, but it's the one-page form that you submit and just spells out your info: name, number, address, email. Well, not email, but name, number, address, then either your social security number, if you are a DBA or something very simple, sole proprietor, or you are going to check the box of an LLC, most likely, and then you're going to check the box of a S Corp, or put the little S in the line, and then you're going to put in your FEIN, your federal, employee identification number, FEIN. That is your tax ID for your business. Like for personal, you get an SSN. For your business, you get an FEIN, okay? That's your 87-21, whatever it is, okay? That's or whatever your number is, right? You're going to put that in the other bar, which is right below. Sign it, date it, and you're going to send it back. And that's the proper documentation later on for you to get 1099 as a subcontractor for the work that you're going to be doing. All right, another one here. We talked about W-9s, route sheets. Route sheets are something that not everybody needs, of course. Obviously you might be mowing 50, 80, 100 lawns, and you might be only doing 5, 8, 10 commercial sites. So you might not have to do this full-blown route sheet. You can, make a notepad list, screenshot it, send it to your guys with addresses. That's fine too. You can punch it in your CRM, give people a route sheet that gets sent to them in email. That's fine. What we've opted to do this year is I have 2, one in each truck, but we have 2 trucks. We have our route sheet and we have it laminated with dry erase markers. And that way guys it's in the truck. It's got the name of the business. It's got the address. And then also it has a site map. So really simply, we have a folder of this stuff is all of our sites with the route where they can dry erase. And then they have photos of the site maps. We have them all on photo on our phones, so guys know where to stack all the snow. It's really, really, really important. I actually picked this up from Troy Clogg as we're subcontracting this year. We did site maps before, and I would use different colors, highlights. I would just draw on them with Photoshop, and then also on Instagram lately. Because quick tip: go on Google Earth, screenshot the site, go into Instagram. Go into stories. I do this a lot. It's one of the easiest little resources and tools you can use. Go into stories. Use the draw tool on the top right. It'll be under the save, your photo or video or draw. Click the pen. Click the width changing tool. How wide you want the line. Put it all the way down to like the thinnest. And then in light blue, you can circle all parts of the driveway where you want plowed, You can put in orange where you want snow stacked. You can put red X's for like manhole covers or speed bumps, right? And then you can take that little mocked up, drawn up thing. And you can also, Troy Clark had this really cool emoji. They put snowflakes for where they want the snow stacked. So it's really cool. Like they have these photos and they have a little snow pile. So you can stack the snow in these designated areas. When you're done with that, you can screenshot that or save the photo, crop it right in your photos, and then add it to the shared photo album for you and your guys. That way, if you don't want to do physical route sheets and laminate those or have a binder or a book, which is cumbersome and it's just going to get torn up just realistically. But we have all of our photos now for all of our sites that all the guys have the photos for in the group chat text for Mark and Rob and myself. So what we have here is a laminated route sheet because I do want that in the truck. So that way they can just cycle through, dry erase, check it off. But then number two, they have all the photos of all the sites and where to stack snow on their phone in a shared album and then also in the group chat. That way, if they get confused or it's late night or they don't know or it's a new site, they can check it out. Also, in that shared album, they can see all the pre-site conditions and maybe you just want a general panning of the site and that way they know what they're looking at because you might have a guy that does one side of town and another guy does the other side of town. One guy's sick, one guy leaves, one guy has COVID, one guy has to cover the whole route because somebody's on vacation or out of town or didn't wake up. At least he can get a visual of what the site looks like because you panned the whole place right before the first snowflake ever falls. And he's got 8 inches of snow going to a brand new site that he's never seen. And he doesn't need to find Kirby at 3:00 in the morning, which by the way, this is why I would take the whole caravan of whoever your company is, 2 guys or 200 guys, and cycle through and do a little walkthrough. Hey guys, here's where we're plowing. Here's where we're stacking. If there's cars here, here's the backup spot. If this is full and that's full, we're going to put it over here, right? Because you might get 80 inches of snow. Like in Buffalo, you get 4 feet in one night. What happens if we get 3 inches? We'll put it here. What if we get 3 feet? Well, here, and then we're just going to use this parking lane. Okay, like it's a small Arby's. There's only so much space. Okay. Route sheets, very, very important. Figure out a system that works for you. This is what we're doing. Where to pile the snow? We just talked about that, but just to reiterate, where are you stacking snow? Do you guys know not to stack by fire hydrants or electrical boxes, utility boxes, access points for pickup trucks and semi trucks that are trying to make deliveries, right? Really, really simple stuff, but I just don't want to gloss over that. Another one, ice melt. Where and when? So for us, you might be pre-treating if you are having an ice storm come through, or you guys have a snow event coming. Some people pre-treat. That's fine. Maybe you get a dusting to an inch. Other times, a lot of times doing your salt runs at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning before the business opens up for the day is more typical. Not going to go into ice melt a lot here. Actually, I'll just give it a little tease, a little behind the scenes. I'm actually building a salt and ice management training course with Bedell. He's co-producing it with me. Bedell's been doing salt for 15, 16 years, and he's done, I would imagine, probably millions of dollars of revenue at this point in salt and ice management with bulk salt and ice melt. So that's been a huge resource that we've been working on. Probably not going to come out, to be honest with you, until fall of 2023. But if you guys are looking to break into salt and ice melt, get the numbers, the production rates, the equipment, the how-tos, all that stuff. We're building that real time right now behind the scenes. That will be available in 2023. And then we'll make that course available for you guys, probably $99. And you can learn all the basics to doing salt. So really quickly with ice melt, people were asking, what are we using this year? Are we using the jet blue or the hot pink? We did just a small little brand deal, if you will, for some YouTube stuff just to help promote JetBlue. It was a great product. It was actually really, really good. That's what Tilson Brands. Shout out to those guys. It worked great. They sent us a pallet. We used it for all of our ice melt. What happens is when it's just a salt run, Bedell does all the salting and all my ice melt work for all of the entrances. If it is a snowstorm, me and my guys tackle all of the snow plowing and the ice melt since we're already there. And then Bedell, all he has to do is rip through with bulk salt for the parking lot, which is great for a time saver because when it snows and you got to plow and salt, then Bedell's time gets cut because he's got a bunch of more production and it's not just a straight pure salt run, right? So we're always looking for these micro efficiencies, and this is what works for us. I'm not getting into salting. I've got way too much on my plate to be going out 45 times a year. I know there's a lot of money to be made in salt. There's a lot of money to be made in anything you do in life. So calm down. Don't tell me I'm leaving a lot of money on the table. I already know, but I'm leaving some money on the table so I can make other money on the table elsewhere. YouTube, social media. And by the way, it's not always about money. Sometimes I just like to sleep and use the winter to recharge a little bit and spend time with my family, just like so many of you guys as well. But I'm not above it. It's just I got a great sub, and he's very profitable at it. And I am definitely spoiled. He does a really good job and treats me really nice. And by the way, we still make some on the top. So I'm really happy. Making a couple of $100 every time my boy goes out and makes thousands, okay? So that's called working together. That's called having good subcontractor agreements and having a great business working relationship, by the way. Bedell and I, in the last 5 years, have done hundreds of thousands of dollars in work together. I think he said I'm his number one sub, or maybe his number two, but hopefully I'll be close to number one. But maybe best looking sub. I don't know. What do you think, Bedell? So I knew I love Bedell. But we used JetBlue for a while. We've been using the Troy Clog Hot Pink. I don't get paid to promote it or sling it or anything like that. I guess I do get paid to sling it. That's not true. I do get paid to put it down because we charge the client. I think we're at $28 a bag applied right now. Again, all of our numbers, all of our pricing is in the contract for $99. Okay. There's a paywall there. I'm not going to give everything away for free in regards to snow. There's too much money to be made in snow, way more profitable, in my opinion, than even lawn care and landscaping. So if you're going to do it, make the investment, learn the knowledge, and you'll be off to the races making some good money in snow. Okay, don't get caught up in pennies along the way. All right, so those are just a couple FAQs I got. We talked about site checks, snow logs, subcontractor agreements, W-9s, route sheets, where to pile snow, logs, site maps, hot pink, and a little bit of salting. And one last thing was for the big snow events, do we go out one time or do we go out twice? And do we charge for one push or do we charge for two? That's kind of a weird gray area because I don't really have a perfect answer for you. What I will tell you is if it's an 8-inch snowstorm, we're definitely plowing with the event. After about 3 or 4 inches of snow that has fallen or fell, we're going out, we're plowing, quote unquote, with the snowstorm. Yes, we will do an 8-hour plow run, get done, and then after the next 4 inches of that 8-inch snowstorm is done, i.e. back to back, we're going to go and just redo the route. So we start from site 1 to site 16. By the time we're done, and the first site's already got another 3 or 4 inches back on it, the snowstorm's probably wrapping up because it's been 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours. Yep, you're going to go back out and you're going to go you can go home, by the way, take a 2-3 hour nap. Maybe the snowstorm's not done. But the idea is if you got an 8-inch plus snowstorm, do 4-inch plow run, go back out a couple hours later, do another 4-inch plow run and tidy everything up. If you wait till the end, and here's really the question. Do we wait till the end of an 8 or 10-inch snowstorm to go plow one time? The answer is no. We don't. You can. I wouldn't advise that. Moving 2 4-inch snowstorms is way easier than moving 1 8-inch snowstorm. It's kind of like double cuts and triple cuts. When you double cut a lawn, you're not cutting double cut growth. You're putting triple the wear and tear on the blade tips, the grass blade, stressing out the lawn, stressing out your lawnmower blade, stressing out your engines, stressing out your belts, adding more wear and tear to the oil, to the gas, to everything. It's not weekly. It's not bi-weekly growth. It's double the effort. It's triple the effort. It's triple the messiness. There's triple the clippings. It's a pain in the butt. Okay. So just like plowing snow, if you go out twice, it's so much easier than if you went out once. It's going to be 2.5, 3 times the pain, the suffering that you're going to be doing plowing snow. Charging wise, if you go out and you got an 8-inch snowstorm and your snow plow tiers are 1.5 inches to 3, 3.1 to 5, well, then that's 2 4-inch plow runs. Now for our contracts, I think it's after 8 or 9 or 10 inches, it's per inch. So maybe it's $72.50 per inch. So it might be a $725 plow run if it's 10 inches, right? Really simply. Well, 2 4-inch plow runs might be, $375 and $375. It's basically the same amount of money. Now here's my caveat. And I'm just going to tell you guys what I do, unfiltered. If we've been beating the client up with charges and charges and charges, and it's been a heavy winter and a heavy snow period, right, for that month, for that invoice, which we bill every 2 weeks. But if they've already had, $5,000 worth of snow and salt in 2 weeks, maybe choose the lesser of the two options if it's by up or down $50, $100, right? Maybe you charge 2 4-inch snowstorms and it's $700, you know, $350 and $350. If you did one 10-inch snowstorm, it's $800. Okay. I would take the lesser of the two charges. Not that you did any less work or more work, but if you're already bleeding the client out, like I'm all about making money, but if they go bankrupt, okay, like doesn't serve anybody and you're going to lose the long-term relationship with that customer. Okay. It's like, this is a horrible analogy, but it's like parasites. Like if they kill the host, the parasite doesn't live. You know what I'm saying? Not that we're parasites. That's an awful explanation, but it still proves the point. Like if you kill the host, that parasite dies too, right? So you don't want to kill the clients and then you're out of business. You got to go find another client. We're not blood-sucking vampires. We're here to reciprocate. This is awful. But long story short, if they've had a light invoice or a light period and they've had 2 salt runs and 1 plow run and the snow bill's looking a little light, and then all of a sudden you get an 8 or 10-inch snowstorm, I would charge the latter. I would charge the higher price, quote unquote, 1 plow visit of 10 inches at $800 instead of the lower price of 2 4-inch pushes at $700 total, if that makes sense. So I try to be fair. if it's if we're just bleeding them out, let's kind of cut them a little bit of some slack. If we haven't been making money, we got to go make our money, and we're going to charge the higher price. You guys do you. You guys figure it out. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just trying to be fair, right? It's just trying to be fair. If you go out and do a next site, the next day visit, you're doing a tidy up. You know, there's some wind drifting. The plows are at the front entrance, and you're doing some wind drift from one side of the parking lot that's got 4 inches of fresh snow, but by the time you get to the other third of the parking lot, it's just still asphalt because of the salt. I would not give that away for free. I would still do a 0.5 on a base scrape tidy up. So if your base scrape's $175, $215, $275, $400, whatever it is, and you're only there for 20 minutes, but you still have to go there, spend time, you drop the plow, you did move some piles, you did clean up the entrance, and it's fair. It's fair. I would charge a 0.5 base scrape, so you still make $150 for visiting the site and spending 20 minutes cleaning it up. Again, if you just got done doing a 60-inch snowstorm week like you guys had in Buffalo or something crazy like that, and I'm all about charging for everything you do, but again, it's just being real. That's what the pros will tell you guys. It's every guru is going to be like, well, this is what I do and I'm a killer. Okay, that's cool. Remember, you're building a relationship with a client. And if you're going to tag them up for every single thing and every nickel and dime thing, although you probably could and you probably should, just be smart, be intelligent. You know, you're building a relationship with a customer and a client. Doesn't mean you give things away for free. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying don't bleed the client out. Okay. You know, work with them. If it makes sense, charge for it. If it's a little 2-minute scrape, no, don't charge a little 0.25 and get your $44. Okay. It's not worth it. Just tell them, hey, tidied up the site, fill out your site management log. At least they know you were there. Tag it up, clean it up, push it back, move on to the next site. Just keep your clients happy. Okay. All right. That's what I got for you guys on today's show podcast. Again, nothing super crazy, nothing super deep, but just some thought process here. Maybe you guys do this already. Awesome. If you haven't done this before, maybe consider some of these things, at least your site checks. And that was even made more aware and more impressed upon me when we started subbing out for Troy Clog and we were required to do a bunch of pre-site inspections, which we were doing anyway. But I'm like, okay, this is actually really, really important. I thought this was important. I knew it was important, but Dell told me to do this. We've been doing it. My guys do it. But I really want to make sure that you guys are doing those pre-site inspections and post-site inspections as well, in March, April, May, when you guys are wrapping up your season. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys on today's show. If you guys want to get access to the rest of the snow resources, launchpreneuracademy.com/store. The bundles will be in the bundle section. The rest of the snow resources will be as you scroll down about 2/3 down the way of the page at the store, and you'll see the whole snow section. Bunch of great resources there. Bunch of great resources to come. I got 2 great resources I'm going to have available for you guys in 2023. So maybe you guys are listening to this podcast and in the future, those resources might already be there. The all-in snow bundle will continue to grow. It's not like the whole ball of wax. You don't get grandfathered in for anything new that we add. I apologize. If you do want to trade up to the whole ball of wax, I'd be happy to refund your all-in snow bundle. That way you can roll that couple $100 up towards the whole ball of wax. So keep me posted if you ever want to do that. I'm a big trade in and trade up kind of guy. But nonetheless, the all-in snow bundle won't automatically get grandfathered in those additional resources. That's only exclusive for the whole ball of wax, which is everything on the website for like $1,500, and that's lifetime updates. So, and upgrades as we add new resources. So anyway, that's what I got for you guys on today's show. Hopefully this was helping a couple of guys out, and we're talking snow, man. That's where we're at in the season, and I'm all about it. Plowing that snow, making that dough, making that white gold. We're doing pretty good with snow this year. I'm pretty happy with that, and it's been a pretty profitable run so far. So, guys, that's what I got for you on today's show. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope to catch up with you guys here soon. Hit the plus sign in the top right corner of your guys' podcast player. That way you guys are following along on the show, and you get notified anytime we drop a new podcast, which we try to come to you guys 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 a.m. So we guys can be a morning show for you guys to listen to, get pumped up, get inspired, and get motivated to go out there and win and crush it with your lawn and landscape business. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. We look forward to catching up with you here on the next one.
You hear me all the time touting the benefits of the Lawntrepreneur Academy. Hi, I'm Mr. Producer, and it seems like the word is really getting out about Brian's training and resources site. For example, Alexa, I need to learn how to make more money in lawn care. What do I do?
Hi, Marty. The answer is lawnpreneuracademy.com.
Hey, Google, my favorite gal says I need to learn the business side of the lawn care business. How can I best do that?
The answer is lawnpreneuracademy.com.
Hey, Siri, you're always spying on me. You heard my questions. What would you do?
If I wanted to cut grass and make cash, I would visit lawnpreneuracademy.com.
Well, it's unanimous. Even artificial intelligence knows that lawnpreneuracademy.com is the answer to the question.
Marty, I thought I was your favorite gal. What the hell is going on?
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.